to define prices and packages for both the virtual and the physical part. We needed to set up a registration for both parts of the Congress. It is not possible to mix the registration into one. We needed to clarify the legal, tax, and compliance issues for both virtual and physical events. And we also tried to keep our industry partners on board by involving them in part of our decisions. You can imagine that it's not easy to allocate staff accordingly under these conditions of uncertainty. And we also have to keep in mind that we are now dealing with suppliers who might not survive the crisis. We were also facing financial challenges. We made a substantial investment in the virtual Congress optimization. We are fully aware that in some areas we will have to pay double costs. We are currently not able to get any insurance coverage for the 2021 Congress, and we expect less income or even a loss for 2021, which means that societies need a solid financial reserve to survive such a crisis. And it also underlines the need to create new income streams which are independent from the physical Congress, because we assume that even after the pandemic, the volume of our congresses will never get back to the volume which we were used to in the past. You might wonder why we are still planning the physical Congress as part of our Congress experience. We got the clear feedback from all of our stakeholders that they highly miss the physical encounter as an important part of our networking. And we think that even a small physical Congress would enable us to strengthen the relationship with our communities. And even if we were to cancel the physical part of our Congress, the planning has already been a good exercise for the future, which may be hybrid anyway, because we now have already clarified and gained all the knowledge we need.
I think that it's going to be essential to determine what is the best practice of an online Congress, because that's not really very clear. I think we're all discovering. What are the analytics? What do we really want to know about all this? Taking all that into account and the current situation, the board of the European Society of Cardiology made the decision that in 2021, we would have only online events, and that we would aim to have off-site, on-site events for 2022 onwards. So this has meant we've had to rethink the business model, because like most medical societies, the ESC revenue is very much Congress dependent, and people online are not going to be paying the same amount of money as those who come, even though they're saving on travel and accommodation and food, etc. But nevertheless, we need to find a way to satisfy the desire to learn, the desire to discover, the desire to contribute, because it's important that people should be continuing to contribute. And then, of course, there's that whole issue of networking and meeting. So I think that most of those, we have found solutions which seem to have worked quite well and can be improved. The networking, we're still working on it because we're not very happy with the way that we're doing things currently. But quite honestly, I've been in the Congress and meetings, industry and association congresses in particular now for just over 35 years, I hate to say. And for the first time, I think that the nature and the structure of congresses is actually going to change. I think that the online factor is going to be a very important one, enabling a lot more people to have access to information, giving them the possibility to change their practice, and thus the patients will benefit from this. And so I really do not think that there will be only on-site congresses from now on. I think those are a thing of the past. Breaks my heart because I love our Congress and I loved it the way it was. But I think that we cannot consider organizing a Congress in the future if there is not an extremely strong online side to it.
What I think it's of paramount importance nowadays is to see that, and we are acutely aware of all the adaptations that were necessary, either from the provider side, either from the industry side, and also, of course, from our side, from the accreditation side. All the changes and all the adaptations that we had to make, many of them in a short period of time. And I think some challenges were met, some will be met in the near future, and this is this situation and the changes that this situation has brought upon us are going to last, and we will need to keep on directing our efforts to solving the challenges that all of this situation has brought to us. As we did before, we, EACCME, we will continue to work always closely with our partners, and we will keep on searching for solutions for these new challenges.
And another survey we did is about the most interesting topics for the people in order to know what they would like to be more promoted. And we have these answers about the different topics. And as well, also we ask about, because I don't see very well here. Yeah. So about what kind of e-learning they would like. Since now we have been offering different products, and mainly they see e-courses, surgical videos, and virtual master classes. So they would like this to continue and to be promoted. And finally, you see here, accreditation was not the most important point for them, but in the updating this, I'm sorry, this is a little bit the different parts of the world that people are connected to our activities. And as you see, of course, mainly Europe. And also here, what I said, in 2019, accreditation was not so important, but in 2020 has increased the interest for accreditation. But the important thing here, as the difference, at least in Europe compared to United States, is that the United States, you need accreditation. You need to pass exams every several years, but not in Europe. And that's why at the EAU, at the European Association of Urology, we thought we have to plan a kind of curriculum in webinars, in courses, in training, in questionnaires, in guidelines, in order to be ready that problem in the near future. And some national societies already do. Okay, if you want to have your urology title, let's say, you have to pass all the guidelines courses, and you have to pass these. And so we are just getting a little bit ready for this and getting all these programs. So, well, the European School, we try to improve, to go ahead from the base to the top at different levels.
Modern CME providers must actively be looking for gaps in relation to their area of interest. So the European specialty societies should have departments of gap detection where they look at their practice and find out where things are going wrong. And then the education that they offer should be directed at the areas where things have gone wrong to fix them. Damage control, if you like. And many of the societies do approach this in this way, but many of them don't. The deficiency is very often not directed at the staff the staff members of the society, but more at the doctors who come into the education department for a few years and then leave it again with no background in education. The doctors in the societies are not familiar with outcome assessment, with the place of outcomes in planning educational design. Many doctors in the societies have not read Moore's paper of 2009. Many of the doctors are not aware of the 7 pyramid levels. They're not aware of the concept that for CME, you work backwards from what you think is the desired outcome in order to come at the most appropriate method of educational design. And I would suggest that the educational design, in many cases, is still too didactic and still too formal and not interactive enough. And one area where particularly I feel the societies have not moved forward is in advocating and supporting workplace CME. Workplace CME is so important, for instance, in the multidisciplinary team meetings, but no one quite knows the best way to do a multidisciplinary team meeting. The societies should be interested in that to help their members to extract as much benefit as they can from informal CME.